السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Follow me and follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Alhamdulillah.
Islam, alhamdulillah, is a very, very simple way of life.
As to which should be charged with the care of Maryam, nor were you with them when they disputed.
But to take a woman in marriage, and indeed his hijrah.
طبعا كلامي كله بالانجليزي وحنترجم ان شاء الله. شيخنا نايس تو ميت يو.
My pleasure to meet you أخي. جزاكم الله خيرا.
لقاءنا اليوم مع الشيخ ما كانش معد لي مسبقا وانما جت صدفه. انا كنت جاي نصلي في صلاه الجمعه وعجبني الشيخ وحصلت فرصه نتكلم معاه وطلبت منه انه يقدم نفسه وبارك الله فيه وجزاه الله خير. لبى الدعوه. خش صلي انت وياه خش. خش كمل طولك جاي انت. شوف شباب
رايحه ها شوف
الله.
اتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والارحام.
معنا خطيب المسجد اليوم من واشنطن دي سي. حاولت اني طلبت منه انه يحكي لنا قصته كيف حول الاسلام. كان مسيحي هو في الاصل وحول الاسلام يعني قديما باين في السبعينات. فنبي نعرف قصته على السريع. ويبدو انه هو مدير في جامعه اسمها اسلامك اونلاين يونيفرسيتي. شويه ونسجل معه ان شاء الله.
My name is Abdul Rauf. I used to done a chaplain as a volunteer for American prison, and I translated for the army also about Islamic religions. And alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim.
ما شاء الله. نبغى نعرف معنى كلمة chaplain بالعربي.
الchaplain هو رجل الدين اللي يقدم خدمات للمساجين داخل السجون الأمريكية. ومعظم السجون الأمريكية الناس ما بتخش يعني بيرتكبوا بعض الجرائم ويعملوا بعض المشاكل. معظمهم بيخشوا في الدين الإسلامي بعد ما يخشوا الفترة دي يعني ويأدوا العقوبة بتاعتهم.
ممتاز. يعني
يتعلموا عن الإسلام.
يعني الحكومة تسمح لرجال الدين إنهم يدخلوا للسجون يحاولوا يحسنوا من أخلاقهم بس لما يطلعوا للمجتمع يكونوا وضعهم يعني أحسن.
نعم هو ده الوضع في أمريكا علشان يحاولوا يقللوا الكرايم يعني الجرائم ويقللوا العقوبات.
ممتاز.
وبيخلوا يعني المساجين يكونوا في حالة أحسن.
ممتاز.
وما يرجعوش تاني السجن.
ما شاء الله. بارك الله فيك على التعريف.
الله يخليك.
في مصطلح أنا ما كنتش نعرفه قبل اللي هو chaplain يعني قسيس أو رجل دين تابع لمصلحة معينة أو مؤسسة معينة. هنا chaplain بالنسبة للسجون يعتبر واعظ أو ناصح للسجناء. ففي السجون الأمريكية دائما يوجد ناصح واعظ مسيحي يدخل ويحاول أنه هو يحسن من أخلاق السجناء اللي موجودين داخل ويذكرهم بالدين. بس حالتنا هذه عندنا مصلح إسلامي عبارة عن مصلح إسلامي يدخل ويشوف السجناء المسلمين يحاول يعظهم ويحاول يعطيهم معلومات عن الدين الإسلامي ويحسن من أخلاقهم ويحاول أنه يجعلهم يعني ناس أفضل في المجتمع. معنا الشيخ مطهر جاي من مدينة واشنطن دي سي وكان اليوم خطيب الجمعة في المسجد هنا في مدينة دنفر. فحصلت عليه ونبي يعطينا يعني نبذة عن كيف تحول الإسلام. كان مسيحي يعني مولود في الأساس مسيحي وكيف تحول الإسلام. فنبدأ معاه. طبعا كلامي كله بالإنجليزي وحنترجم إن شاء الله. So شيخنا nice to meet you.
My pleasure to meet you أخي. جزاكم الله خيرا. الحمد لله.
الحمد لله يا رب. I'm very glad like to came to مسجد النور today.
الحمد لله. It's a blessing. النعمة
الحمد لله. الحمد لله.
نعمة من الله والحمد لله.
Yeah, I was like very happy with the khutbah. I really loved it.
الحمد لله. May Allah accept it from us.
الحمد لله.
الله منا ومنكم الحمد لله.
الحمد لله يا رب. You can introduce yourself first.
Well, I became Muslim in 1976 in Hartford, Connecticut, and actually my journey to Islam started several years before that when I was in high school in Washington D.C. I went to an all-Catholic school, all-boys Catholic high school, and it was predominantly Caucasian, white. And I had the opportunity in the 10th grade to invite a speaker to our Black History class. So I invited, at that time in the 60s, America really didn't know anything about true Islam. All we knew about Islam was what
from the media
from the nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X.
اوكي. في مصطلح آخر اللي هو Nation of Islam. طبعا ترجمة المصطلح هذا اللي هي أمة الإسلام. هنا نبي نوضح أن أمة الإسلام أو Nation of Islam عبارة عن منظمة أو حركة إسلامية واللي قائمين عليها من ذوي البشرة السوداء. منظمة من مجموعة منظمات في ذلك الوقت اللي هي كانت تحاول تحارب التمييز العنصري ضد السود هنا في أمريكا اللي استمر لحد الستينات القرن الماضي. طبعا المنظمة هذه أسسها في البداية الشخص اسمه فارد والشخص هذا اختفى بس اللي استلم زمام الأمور اسمه إيلايجا محمد. من هو إيلايجا محمد؟ خليكم معي. إليجا محمد هو رئيس منظمة أمة الإسلام، وأقنع أعداد هائلة من السود أنهم يدخلوا الإسلام، طبعا بحجة أن الإسلام يرفع من مستوى السود وما يخليهمش مضطهدين كيف ما هو الحال في الدولة الأمريكية. بس كانت عنده الكثير من المفاهيم الخاطئة عن الإسلام. على سبيل المثال،
ارتكزت القاعدة الأساسية التي اعتمدت عليها أمة الإسلام في عملها على الاعتقاد بتفوق الجنس الأسود على الجنس الأبيض، وأن الملاك أسود اللون وأن الشيطان أبيض اللون.
So I invited the minister from the temple. They were called temples back then.
not masjids.
Not masjid. They were called temple number 4 in Washington, D.C. He came and he spoke. May Allah have mercy upon him and grant him Jannah. His name was Lani Shabazz, but he later became Abdul Alim Shabazz, and he was one of the most learned mathematicians in this country. I think he had the chair at Lincoln University. He was a mathematician.
Okay.
He was a professor, but he returned to Allah several years ago. But he too came to real Islam later in life.
Okay.
But it was through that I began to explore and realize that what I was raised upon, Christianity and Catholicism, that it was not correct. You know, they had us drawing pictures of Jesus and pictures of the crucifix. And,
which is not logical.
Really way out.
Yes.
You know, and then is 3 and 1 and 1 is 3. I mean, these defies the laws of mathematics.
Make a lot of confusion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So after I kind of toyed around with the Nation of Islam, I never really became a full member of the Nation of Islam.
By the way, you can stop anytime if you want to talk.
Sure, no problem. But Murad, Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu feek. But when I went away to college, I continued to explore, and then when I went to college in Hartford, Connecticut, the first Muslim I met there was the Dean of Student Life. His name was Muhammad Jabril from Somalia.
MashaAllah.
Although I didn't really, unfortunately, I didn't get a good influence of Islam from him. He was almost like one of the college students.
Okay, yeah. So it's not a good example for Muslim.
But, may Allah guide him, inshallah. I don't even know if he's still living, Allah. But after I graduated from college and Elijah Muhammad died and his son became Muslim, or his son was already Muslim, but his son took over the leadership, and he took the Nation of Islam from the heresy of his father's teaching. The black man is God, the white man is the devil.
Yeah, I heard that story.
The Quran and the Sunnah, to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I stayed with that community from 1976 until 1984.
أحد أشهر الشخصيات اللي كانت متواجدة مع منظمة أمة الإسلام في وقت إليجا محمد، اللي هو المتحدث باسم المنظمة، اسمه مالكوم إكس. مالكوم إكس كان عنده طريقة بارعة في جلب الناس وإقناعهم بالإسلام. طبعا أحد أشهر الأشخاص اللي دخلهم الإسلام اللي هو الملاكم الشهير محمد علي كلاي. والشيء الجيد أن بعد وفاة إليجا محمد تولى ابنه إدارة منظمة أمة الإسلام، وابنه مشى في الطريق الصحيح وأزال كل الأشياء اللي هي تعارض الدين الإسلامي، وحاول أنه يطبق كل الأشياء اللي هي توافق ديننا الحنيف.
After I moved from Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, I went to South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, where I live now. And I served, when I first became Muslim in Connecticut, I was the assistant imam for the masjid, and also the chaplain, the contract chaplain for the Connecticut Department of Corrections. And that was from 1976 until about 1982. Then I moved to South Carolina. I was also an addiction treatment specialist in Connecticut. I moved to South Carolina and became the assistant imam, and also principal for the Clara Muhammad schools of the community of Warathati Muhammad, Imam Warathati Muhammad. But then I was trying to build a bridge between the Sunni community and that community, and in the process I crossed the bridge.
Okay.
And so, alhamdulillah, I'm with the Masjid al-Muslimin, the Islamic Center of Columbia, Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Adli. He's probably one of the longest serving imams in the country in Sunnah. Done various jobs, from selling insurance, selling real estate, to working with the school district, at-risk youth. Then finally I became an addiction treatment specialist for a prison-based treatment facility where we had what's called a therapeutic community, New Connections Therapeutic Community, prison-based treatment facility for addiction treatment. We worked with about 250 men, separate from the general population, with very intense treatment therapy to recover from their addiction. And then during that time, I was asked to become the Muslim chaplain for the Department of Corrections there. So I became the full-time Muslim chaplain in 1996. And I served in that capacity until 2007. During that time, I was also the contract imam for 7 federal facilities throughout the Southeast, 4 in South Carolina, 1 in Georgia, and 2 in Florida. And I would travel to those facilities, once a month, twice a month, plus the 29. Well, at that time, South Carolina had about 32 correctional facilities. We had to travel to all of those throughout the course of the week and the month to meet, to provide services for the men. Because believe it or not, all of the correctional facilities, they have at least 1, if not 2, Christian chaplains, but no Muslim chaplains. And so this is a big problem.
So there is a gap there.
Yeah,
we need to fill that.
Exactly. So that's why I mentioned that Texas and California are looking for Muslim chaplains. So inshallah, Muslims will take up the challenge.
Okay, so from your experience with this, are there a lot of Christians converted to Islam in the jail?
Like I said, more than 95% of those who accept Islam, who are Muslim in prison, they are accepted in the prison.
mashallah.
You see, because they've tried everything, and they come for different reasons. But what we try to stress is the importance of niyatul ikhlas, the purity of their intention.
Absolutely.
Because they can come for protection. They can come because they know they're going to get a nice Eid dinner. They know, they come and the Muslim community, they have a certain amount of respect in the prisons by the administration because they generally will keep things calm. They are a calming influence if they're not, out of their minds.
Yes.
If they're not practicing Islam, we say, instead of Islam, they practice Islam. Islam. But for the most part, the administration, when the Muslims are practicing Islam correctly, they have great respect for them and they rely on them to help maintain stability and order in the institution.
Nice.
Even in some institutions, you have faith-based dorms, and the Muslims that live in those dorms, they can practice the Deen together. They make salah together. And sometimes what we call the inmate Muslim coordinator, the inmate imam, he serves almost as a chaplain, but he can only do so much because he got the same problem they got because he's an inmate.
Yeah.
You see, and we have problems with inmates who, trying to have it both ways. They may be a part of a gang. They want to be Muslim, but they got one foot in and one foot out. And it causes a problem.
Doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Yes.
Now, California and Texas are both now looking for Muslim chaplains. California is looking for Muslim chaplains right now. This is one of the few positions that you, as a Muslim, can work fi sabilillah and take care of your family. New York, I don't know if they're looking for more, but no, they have the most all across the country. I think New Jersey may have about maybe 15 now, I'm not sure.
MashaAllah.
But in South Carolina, we just hired a second chaplain, but really, you need one. You need one for each institution where they're Muslims.
Yeah, that's...
but they keep it according to the number, like they may say one chaplain for every 500 inmates. You see?
Yeah.
So if you have 1,500 inmates and only 30 of them or 50 of them are Muslim, then they expect that the Christian chaplain is going to provide services for them. But more often than not, the Christian chaplain, he'll do just enough to get by, or in some cases he won't have anything to do with the Muslim. Some even go so far as to say, this is a false religion and we're not going to help you. But they're supposed to make effort to find volunteers to come in and service the Muslims' needs.
Do you have any plans to visit any prison?
Not this time around. In fact, it's been a while since I visited a prison. I think the last prison that I visited were in Texas. I visited a couple of two or three prisons in Texas, and then one in Nebraska.
Okay.
But since I retired, I don't go to the prisons much. I visit one in Georgia. Those two, we go to find out how the brothers are doing and sisters are doing with the program that we're providing them.
Nice.
And alhamdulillah, this program is one that I'm really very proud of. Dr. Bilal Phillips, who is the chancellor and founder of the Islamic Online University, he's a very famous da'i.
Yeah, if you give us a brief
he started Islamic Online University over a decade ago, and we've reached over almost 500,000 students
ما شاء الله.
enrolled in the tuition-free institution of higher learning, because it's on the internet and it's globally based.
Oh, okay.
And there's no cost per credit hour. In fact, we're going to be the new semester, the spring semester, will be starting in February, and we're looking for more enrollment. The only cost is the cost for registration per semester, but there's no cost per credit hour.
Okay.
We do have global accreditation from various ministries of education, governmental ministries of education around the world. Unfortunately, accreditation here in the U.S. is not done by the government. It's done by private associations that cost a lot of money. It costs $15,000 just to start the application process.
Okay.
You know, so it's a process. It's
it needs some time.
Exactly. But he asked me to start the distance learning prison initiative for the inmates in the prisons.
Okay, so they can start and
although they don't have access to the internet, what we've done is we've printed all of the materials from the free diploma program. We have an online diploma program in Islamic studies where we printed all of the books, and now we make them available to the inmates. We send them their quizzes and exams. If they complete the course, they get a nice laminated signed certificate, plastic, and then we send the certificate. They can't have them. Sometimes they can't have those hard plastic certificates in the institution, so we make a copy on parchment paper for them, and we send the originals to their home. Okay. It's a form of da'wah too.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. It encourages them, and they feel they are part of this community. And nice,
and it lets their families know that they are doing something.
Absolutely.
About their life.
Yeah, and maybe their families get hidayah.
Exactly.
Mashallah, mashallah. Do you feel that they like the idea?
Brother, let me tell you, I get letters every day by the bundles. Brothers are expressing how much they appreciate the program. They're making dua for us, that Allah bless us to continue.
MashaAllah.
And they really appreciate it because they have not had that.
Yeah.
You see, they generally have to rely on, 1 or 2 volunteers here, there, a year, every 5 years, and then they don't hear from nobody, or they order books, and then, you know how it is. If you try to, in order to study the Deen, you really have to study it in a methodical way, in a progressive way, so that you can build on
incremental way.
Exactly. As opposed to just kind of going helter-skelter, and then you just kind of fall off or stop.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Now, so they greatly appreciate it.
MashaAllah.
Now the diploma program is in 6 levels. To date, we've implemented the first 3 levels, and Dr. Bilal is offering a free scholarship for any inmate for undergraduate scholarship to get a BA degree in Islamic or Arabic studies or Islamic psychology, Islamic education.
MashaAllah.
If they complete the 6 levels of the diploma program.
Okay.
Let me just tell you. Just kind of give you an idea of what the subjects are.
Okay, nice.
In the first level, level 1, you have the foundation of Islamic studies 1 and 2. The part 1 is Aqidah. Part 2 is introduction to studies of Hadith, Usul Hadith, Fiqh Tahara, more foundation of Islamic culture, contemporary issues. Then level 2 goes more in depth to Aqidah at-Tawheed, Fiqh Salah 1 and 2, the 3 shelters. This is the commentary on the surahs of seeking refuge, Surah Tafsir, and then the prophetic reflections of Ramadan. Level 3, Fiqh of fasting, Ulum al-Quran, Usul Hadith, An-Nawawi's 40 Hadith Part 1, Part 2, and explanation of Kitab al-Tawheed. So and then it goes on. We have Arabic reading and writing made easy, Introduction to Quranic Arabic 1 and 2.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Yes, very beautiful subject. Alhamdulillah. If I go with you back, when you first took Shahada, what year was that? You said
1976.
And what's the main reason make you convinced about Islam? You feel it's the real religion?
Well, like I said, it wasn't an overnight, all of a sudden conversion. It was something that was gradually happening. But when Elijah Muhammad died, and that teaching went away. When I say went away, it was no longer being promoted like it had been. And I began to read. I read the book by Maududi Towards Understanding Islam. That book opened my eyes.
What's the name of the book again?
Towards Understanding Islam by Said Ala Maududi.
Said Ala.
Yeah, but I know that some people have problems with him. But you take it with a grain of salt. You take the good and you leave what's not good.
Absolutely.
But that made a tremendous impact on me.
MashaAllah.
And then, just...
Do you remember specific points that make you feel that...
Well, it was like the pieces of the puzzle just came together.
Okay.
That's how it was.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, everything from understanding the purpose of life, the meaning of salam, salam, you know, and, you know, learning about the life of the Prophet was very, very important. Because, you know, you could feel it, you could see it, you could hear it, understand it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fairy tale, it wasn't a mythology.
Yes.
A mystery. It was from the time he was born to the time he died. And so it's easy to fall in love with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
This is the main example that Allah gave us, like, to follow. So it's like perfect example. Yeah, mashallah. Last word, like, for the brothers in Libya, they're fighting each other.
Inshallah. Ya akhi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to make islah between the Muslim brothers. Make islah, to rectify our affairs. This is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fix our affairs, not to fight one another. The shaitan, he loves for us to fight against each other, you see, because when we do that, it breaks the unity of the ummah. And then he reaches his objective to get more people to come to the hellfire.
Absolutely.
So we have to resist the urge. Whatever reason, there are many reasons why we fight each other, but usually it has to do with the dunya. Political power, financial power, military power, you see.
Yeah.
And all of that is dust.
Absolutely.
It's not going to last.
Doesn't worth anything.
See, so what's the point?
It's going to end.
You know, blood is precious. And believe it or not, we got enough people killing Muslims, non-Muslims killing Muslims. Why we want to kill ourselves? It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
You see, it doesn't. Let's not play into their hand. Let's restrain ourselves, hold our hand. As the Prophet said, he asked his companion, who is the best wrestler? And that's surely not the one with the AK-47, you know, or the rocket RPG.
Yes.
No, the best wrestler is not the one who subdues the other physically. It's the best wrestler is the one who can subdue his anger.
Absolutely.
To control his anger when he's at his fiercest. To put it down. Go make wudu. Sit down. Lay down if you have to. You know, and forgive your brother. Maybe they did you wrong, you did them wrong. The one closest to Allah is the one who makes the first step in giving the salams and to forgive. You see, you know, the Prophet he said, whoever does not show mercy to the people, Allah will not show mercy to him. And this deen is a deen of rahmah. Muhammad he was a rahmatul lil alameen, a mercy for all the worlds. But we've abandoned that. Why? It wasn't something for just 14 centuries ago. That was a message for all time to come. And we are, sometimes the way we treat each other, the way we treat our nations, we waste our resources, we give our resources away to the non-Muslims. We are disgracing the legacy of Islam and the legacy of the Muslims.
Yeah, and our picture, please tell them about our picture, like in the eyes of as example, the Americans. How do they see us?
You know, one time I heard someone say that they lived in Libya for a long time. It's very safe. Now, Allah knows best. I don't know much about Gaddafi and.
Yeah, but it was stable. It was like
it was a little bit more stable than it is now.
Absolutely.
And it's not just in Libya, but it's in all across the Muslim world.
Yes.
It's this unrest and fitna. You see.
Yeah.
And the way that the world looks at the Muslim world, the non-Muslim look at the Muslim and say, if this Islam is all about peace, why are you having so much turmoil? Why are you fighting each other so much if Islam is about peace?
Yeah,
you know,
doesn't make sense for them.
But you know what? The Prophet he prayed to Allah for 3 things.
Okay.
He prayed that we would be saved from certain things, and the third one was from being saved from the internal rancor, the fitna from within.
Yeah, the fitna between brothers.
Allah did not answer that dua, so you know, all we can do is our best.
Inshallah. Inshallah. بارك الله فيك شيخنا. جزاك الله خير. إن شاء الله في ميزان حسناتك إن شاء الله.
Please keep us in your dua as we do you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us to meet in Jannah and to be among the companions of Rasulullah alayhi to see the blessed face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa jazakum khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahu akbar.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. الآن نوصل لختام حلقتنا هنايا، ونبي نأكد على نقطة. إحدى الدروس اللي نستفيدها هنايا أن الشيخ لما دخل الإسلام ما صار الشيء يعني أقنع بين يوم وليلة أنه هو يحول دينه من المسيحي إلى الإسلام، وإنما الموضوع أخذ فترة طويلة. فمتخيلش أنك أنت بتجي تقنع شخص مسيحي أنه هو يدخل الإسلام في لقاء أو لقاءين. فأعتقد أن أحد الدروس المهمة أنك أنت تعامل المسيحيين بطريقة ممتازة كيف ما يأمرنا ديننا الإسلامي، ومع مرور الوقت هم حيعجبوا بشخصيتك وحيتأثروا لما يعرفوا أنك أنت مسلم وأن الإسلام هو اللي مخليك تقوم بالشيء الكويس هذا. فأعتقد أن هذا أحد الدروس. نبيكم تكتبوا لي في التعليقات تحت شنو الدروس الأخرى اللي استفدتها من اللقاء مع الشيخ، ونشوفكم على خير إن شاء الله في فيديو تاني. السلام عليكم.
We like to again encourage all of you to share Islam, those of you who are Muslims, to share Islam with your non-Muslim neighbors and co-workers. And those of you who are not Muslim, get to know the Muslim. We are your neighbors. This world is too small for us to be strangers in today's society. Communication has brought the world closer together than ever before. So we encourage you to reach out, learn Islam, and grow.